Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you had a great 4th of July and enjoy the rest of the weekend. So we are going to dive in to the real possibility of whether or not the Indiana Fever can make a run at the playoffs. Even sitting at 8-13, is it possible? Short answer is yes. And here's why. As you can see, thankfully, 8 of the 12 teams make the playoffs. Uh, it's a little crazy. Personally, in a 12-team league, I would go with 6, and then the top 2 get a bye, and then 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, and then the winners play 1 and 2, and then you go to a championship. But they've got 8, so that means the Fever have a shot. So we're going to take a look. Here are the two out of these 3 teams. You've got the Dream, the Sky, and the Fever. Most likely it's going to be 2 of those 3 that make it. Although, as you can see, Washington Mystics are 5-16, but they're 5-5 in their last 10. They've been playing well, but that's a big stretch for them. So the outside is Atlanta, Chicago, and Indiana. 2 of the 3 will most likely make it. Now the thing here, though, is the Fever. It says they're a half game out from those 2 teams. Sort of, but what's really key is the number of losses, right? Both Chicago and Atlanta have played 18 games. The Fever have played 21. Chicago and Atlanta both need to only win 1 of those 3 extra games to have the same record, and then we get into what the tie-breaking stuff is. If they win 2 of those 3, they're going to have a better record than the Fever. So really that loss number is the key. The Fever need a little help. So because here you got the top 6, right? See the split, even go look all the way over to the right. Everything's in nice colors because in their last 10, they're all winning games, right? And then you look at after team 6, it's a little different. Other than the Fever, but only 1 of those wins has come against these top 6. So if we look at what's coming, very next game, which is Saturday the 6th, I'm recording this on the 5th. The Fever, that's a tough game. Best record in the league, 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 5 in a row. That's a tough one. Then they do have the Mystics, which you would hope would be a win. But like I said, they've been playing well lately. And then they've got the Phoenix Mercury again. And then the Minnesota Lynx after that. So believe it or not, while I believe they have more home games, this is not an easy backside of the schedule for the Indiana Fever. Okay, if we split it, if we go back again and look at this, where we've got these top 6, which are just a cut above, the Mercury, I'm not sure. I think they're good enough. I think, it's kind of a slightly older team, and they're maybe not quite there. They could possibly be overtaken. But for now, it's sort of the class of the league is the top 6. It really is a split, the top half and the bottom half of the league. And unfortunately for Indiana, the remaining 19 games, 10 of them come against these top 6, and then 9 come against the other 5. And here's the problem with that. These top 6 you see right here, they are combined 1-11 against these teams this year, while they're 7-2 against the rest of the teams. Now think about that. They've got 9 games. If they went 7-2 again against the rest of those teams, that's 15 wins. The way I'm looking at it and what I'm seeing here, I think 18 is a possibility to get in, but I think to be sure, it's going to take 19 wins to get in. That means they have to go 11-8 in their final 19. So they cannot afford losses to the teams in the bottom half that they're 7-2 against so far. I mean, they really probably need an 8-1, if not a 9-0 run against those teams, and then try and sneak a couple against the top six. Because on top of 10 of the games against the top six, it's most likely they're also really going to be playing under pressure as the schedule comes to a close, because 7 of those 10 games of the final 19, 7 occur in the next 10. The next 10 games, they play 7 of them against these top six teams. If we look at it right here, right, starting tomorrow, they've got the Liberty. Okay, then they get the Mystics, but then they have the Mercury. Then they have the Minnesota Lynx. Then they get the Dallas Wings. But then they've got the Mercury again. Then they've got the Seattle Storm. Then they've got the Lynx again. Then they get to play Atlanta, but then they've got the Connecticut Sun again. So it is a actually really difficult stretch coming up for the Indiana Fever. 7 of the next 10 are against these top 6 teams. They're 1-11 against those top 6 teams. They've got 9 more games against the bottom, which they're 7-2, but 7-2 is a good record against those teams. But they have I think they probably have to do more than that. At 7-2 again at minimum, because that would give them 15 wins, but that would mean going 4-6 against the top 6 teams who are there right now 1-11 against. So, are the playoffs possible? Yes, but it is not going to be easy unless they magically start making some of the changes that we've all talked about, that I've talked about in videos, that many of you have mentioned in the comments, in terms of how they run their offense, in terms of their defense, both individually and as a team. Like, all these things we're saying that we just can't believe a professional basketball team does or doesn't do. If they don't make any of those changes and they continue to do what they're doing, then we're probably talking 15-25, maybe 16-24, 14-26, also possible, right? They're probably in that 14, 15, 16 range, and I think 18 is possible in terms of making the playoffs, but 19 is kind of where I really feel is the number you've got to get to. So that's a big difference. I mean, you're talking about, they went 8-13. They basically have to go 11-8. More than half the games are against these top 6 teams that they're 1-11 against. So yes, the Fever absolutely can make the playoffs, but it is not going to be easy. They've got a very difficult stretch coming up. I think they've got to steal a couple of these games. Those 7 of the next 10 against these top 6, they've got to steal a couple of them. I mean, I think if they can go 2-4, or, well, I guess it would be 2-5, right? 3-4 might be a big ask, but they've got to get at least a couple of them. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Looking at the remaining schedule, the teams they play, what do you think their chances are of making the playoffs? If you're enjoying these videos, please like, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. We are actually closing in on 4,000. That's crazy. And I thank every single one of you who have subscribed. I really do appreciate it. Hope you have had a great 4th. Enjoy the weekend. I will talk to you later.